We are here today with Debbie Harwin from I Need Your Space, who is an amazing organizational expert. I can attest to that because she helped Amelia and I get more organized when Adam was first born, when we really, really needed some help with our space. We live in a small 2-bedroom New York City apartment. And in New York City especially, we need to utilize every square inch of space as intelligently as possible. However, I would also say that in the suburbs, it can definitely help parents, busy parents, with their ability to have more time in their lives to spend with their kids if they're organized. Because having a clean space, like we were talking about a little bit before,
right,
helps with retrieval and getting things fast.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about what you do, what prompted you to create I Need Your Space.
I had started I Need My Space back in the late 1990s while I was a practicing attorney, and it was while I was practicing law that I realized the importance of organization and how being organized as an attorney really pushed me far ahead of some of the other attorneys who were a lot less organized. And it was during that time that I kind of researched the field of organizing, which wasn't such a big field then, and decided that this could be a great job for me. It's very interactive. You're with people all the time, very hands-on. And I wasn't a happy lawyer, so I decided to leave after I had my first child, my son. I left law altogether and started I Need My Space, researching a lot initially, learning different techniques, and then just developing the business as time went on.
Right. Oh, that's very interesting. And I think that you've chosen a great career path for yourself.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about, and I know that you're a mom yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about how you feel that your own work as an organizational expert helps you have more time with your kids.
Well, I think like any working mother or working parent, it's a true balancing act between running a business, life, kids, husband, wife, whatever your situation is. I think that being organized helps you in all aspects of your life, because when things are in their place in your home or at work or in your office, you have more time to do those things in life that you enjoy, to be with your family, whatever hobbies you enjoy. And I find that being organized, I'm not wasting time running around the house looking for a particular piece of paper, looking for the form that the school sent home that's due tomorrow, looking for an important tax paper. Everything has its place, and I know exactly where to go. So it's less time on those things and more time with the people that I want to be with.
Right.
So.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to offer parents and even, just the lay folks out there, you don't have to be a parent to benefit. What are the top 3 things that you would suggest that help people save time through better organizing their space?
I think probably first would be to not procrastinate. I find that procrastination is a real downfall in our society in general. Just act on things in the moment, and don't let the papers pile up. Open your mail every day. Deal with the junk mail right away. It goes right into recycling. I teach my clients, if they live in a building in Manhattan and they're in a mail room, open up the mail in, right over the recycling bin in the mail room. Do not pass go.
Right.
Don't even let it get to your apartment. Deal with the mail every day. If you take 5 minutes and you just deal with it every day, whether it's something you need to act on, something that needs to be filed, or something that needs to be tossed. If you deal with it every day, it prevents that buildup of, those piles of papers that become very, untouchable when it becomes that
Right.
mountain,
Right.
and becomes very overwhelming. So, don't
number one, don't
procrastinate,
procrastinate.
act now, do similar types of actions together, whether it's sitting down and paying a few bills, try to get your bills paid online. Sit down and designate a half hour, like we have our appointment here today,
Right.
to talk and do this. Actually, I encourage clients to schedule time to sit down and take care of their own stuff and honor it like you would honor any other appointment.
Right. Right.
So another thing that I would probably suggest to everyone is that every item that in your apartment, in your home, has to have its own home. And the old saying goes, a place for everything and everything in its place. It sounds very cliche. However, once an item has a home, organization is all about retrieval.
Right.
So you want to be able to get your hands on something within a few seconds. If you know where it is,
Right.
It's easy to get. Those items that you need to take with you every day, whether it's your keys, your work bag, a certain folder, your coat, they should all be in their place,
Right.
not scattered about, because then you're also starting off your day on
Right.
a pretty, harried note, which isn't a great way, for you to start your day.
Right.
And those items that you need all the time should be visible and they should be accessible.
Right.
Visibility and accessibility are two key components to organization.
Right.
And
So don't procrastinate. Everything has a place.
Everything has a
And
place.
schedule time to do the things that are important to you.
That's right.
So, and maybe people then have like a value hierarchy of some sort, so that they can decide
I think
what
also, creating a to-do list so that
Okay.
you can keep
Okay.
these things scheduled would most likely be the third thing that I would suggest to people. Creating possibly a master to-do list and then breaking it up into components and creating a separate list for you to do on a daily basis.
Right.
And whether it's you or you're delegating these tasks to other people who work for you or, friends or family that help you out in some aspects of your life, as long as it's, you could do it electronically, you could do it on paper. It really doesn't matter how you do it as long as you do it.
Right. That makes sense.
So.
Do you use any electronic organizational tools to help you?
I have an iPhone, and I do use it for contacts and for email and for other things. I actually prefer my daily to-do list. I still write out.
Right on paper.
I use daytime.
Well, there's something to be said about my wife Amelia also likes to handwrite the stuff.
I know that.
She uses the Franklin Covey system.
And I like to check it off after I do it.
Well, that there's been studies that the endorphins are released when you do that little check. So after you finish that task,
I didn't know that.
Some endorphins pop off in your brain, and it makes you feel better.
So maybe that's what's keeping me on paper all these years.
The mouse click doesn't provide the same drugs to your brain.
That's interesting.
So that is interesting.
Yeah.
And if there was one bombshell mistake that people make over and over again, then you're like, oh my God, if they could just not make that mistake, they would be, they'd have more time, they would be better organized, and it would free up a lot for them. What might that be?
Well, I think probably the biggest mistake people make is they feel that if they go out to the Container Store or go out to stores similar to that and buy organizing products, containers, folders, whatever it is, and bring it home and just put their stuff in it, they think that they're magically going to become organized, and it just doesn't work that way. You need a system in place to make those containers and those beautiful products work. It's, I think also with the advent of all these organizing shows on TV, people also make the mistake of thinking that as organizers, we come in and wave a magic wand and it gets done.
Right.
And what I always try to emphasize to clients is, I do not have a magic wand.
Right.
It took a lot more than 4 hours for your home to get this way. Organizing is a true process, and you need to take those steps. It could take weeks, it could take months, it could take years to become truly organized,
right,
and to be able to maintain it. So I think that there are a lot of misconceptions about organizing out there.
Right. Yeah. Well, nobody can do the work for you, and it's a daily. Right. And what I'm taking from what you're saying is that it's a daily practice.
That's right. It's you have to you have to put your time in.
A best practice situation.
Yes.
That sounds great. So let me ask you, how do people find out more about what you do? Does I Need My Space have a website?
Yes, we do. It's ineedmyspace.com. And I also belong and have for many years to the National Association of Professional Organizers. And you could Google them. It's NAPO, NAPO.net. And they're a wonderful organization that's, nationwide. And you can learn more about the organizing industry in general.
Right. And you've been featured, like your company's been featured on The View and some other high-profile programs, right?
We've been in the Times and a couple of TV clips here and there.
As you should be.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Debbie, so much for coming out today and talking to parents around the world about organizing, best organizing practices.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.